Well, good morning. I hope you're all doing well. I'm going to try to cover a lot of things really quickly. Bunch of stuff I'm going to be doing in 2023. You may have already seen these on a couple of the other sites where people are testing them. I've sent these out to people who wanted to look at them and see what they thought of them. This is not the final product. It's a prototype of a 457 shot shell. It's kind of cut up on the end so it'll shatter as soon as the air hits it. And what it was actually being fired from at my end is from a 457 barrel for the Defender 2 that has been reamed, so it's got no rifling left in it. And I've had real good luck with it. I know Macabre Speeds tested it and a couple other people. Now, this wasn't my brainchild, and this isn't going to be the final looking product. This is something that came from Larry at Survival Arms. If we do go ahead and move forward with this and have the shot shells and barrels available, it will be through Larry. So that's his thing, and hopefully we'll move forward with it, and they'll be the ones marketing both the barrels and the shot shells. Once again, they're not going to quite look like this. They will be a little bit different. The next thing I wanted to cover is the Defender in 357, but it's not actually 357 anymore. So this is it. And I know Macabre Speed just did the same thing where he's taken the Defender barrel and shortened it. I did the same thing about a week ago. Mine's a little bit different. You may or may not notice it's a little bit bigger of a hole. This is now a 410 shotgun. And this is wadding from a 410 shotgun. This particular one's got a number 4 buck and some shot mixed into it. I think the two I'm going to fire today is 250 cal or 50 grain 32 cal balls and then number 8 shot. And I'm actually going to fire that here in just a moment. I've got a local supplier who's looking for barrel stock right now, and I've got a machinist who'll probably be making these here in the U.S. So it'll be all U.S. barrels, and they'll be 410 shotgun barrels that can fire these 410 shotgun shells either in a regular length barrel or the shortened barrel. Because if it's a shotgun coming out of a Defender 2, it's not like it needs to be a real long barrel. So with that, let me get this thing loaded up here. Got some ballistic gelatin ready. You know what, folks? Here I go trying to put that barrel in without actually having the little power cartridges. So let's try that. And maybe I should have had that second cup of coffee today. So there we go, 1 and a 2. So I love the gun already. I love firing it in 457. I actually have some 456 rounds out for it. The 457 shot shells will be real nice. The 410 shot shells, again, there's so many different things you can do with those shot shells. I'm putting a double-aught buck. I can put 250 grain double-aught bucks in a shell. I can put about 100 grain of number 4 buck and number 8 shot. And then the, let me grab them here, the shells that are a little closer to the finished product would be something like this. That's about 100 grain of number 8 buckshot. Comes apart real easily. And I don't know that this is the finished product, but this is a shorter round, and it's 2 32 cal, basically double-aught buck, 50 grain shells with a wax cap. Because again, wax is going to shatter as soon as the thing's fired. And so not entirely sure that's what they're going to look like, but tested a few and they seem to work real well. So one other thing I'm playing around with, don't know if I'll move forward with it or not, is I hate airing all these little cartridges up at one time. It's just kind of time consuming. So little octopus that'll let you load all 4 at the same time. Once again, I don't know if that's going to be what it looks like in the end, but it's just one of the things I'm working on right now. So there's that. Let's see what else. Let me get this out of the way. These plates, I was basically giving them away with some pellet sales, just so I can get them out there and people can test them. This is for the BW S45. I'm thinking this is it before I've painted it. Ultimately, it was probably going to be powder coated black. These are pretty much dead in the water. I can't go any lower than 3. So the choice people have out there is to buy a new mag when the plastic breaks, which is $75, or make a permanent change and have these covers. So at first I wanted to give some away and just see what people thought of them. But for the 22 that I put up to buy some pellets, get it free. I think 12 have sold, so I can't make the investment in getting a bunch of those things made if I can't even give them away. So let's go ahead and do the 357 shooting. Okay, so, oh, that looks real good. I really like that. Let's see if I can do this without everything falling. Let's see if you can see that. That is, oh, how far? That is 8 inches into ballistic gelatin, and there's one of the 32 caliber balls, and there's the other 32 caliber ball. And exactly what I would expect from a small shot shell like this. That's a total of maybe 3 inches in, and that's all the shot, about inch and a quarter across, and about 3.5 inches in. So obviously, if you have a larger mass and there's less of them, it's going to get a lot better penetration. Something like this on what is about 12 or 14% ballistic gelatin, a little bit higher than US standards, is getting about 3 inches in. So both of those to do some damage, and again, that's from the Defender with the 357 barrel. So we'll shove that back in place. So happy with that. That's pretty consistent with what I've already had going on with that. So again, going down my list, it looks like the covers are dead. I guess I'll keep the others around until they sell, but for now it doesn't look like it's going to do anything. 51 cal. Recently gotten 5 molds in, and I've got a 6th mold coming in right now for 51 cal, .510. Now I have 3 that are maxi ball in 375, 475, and 575. But I also have some smaller ones. All 4 of these are basically the exact same round. Each one took a different mold because each one does a different thing. This is the hollow point 510 at 235 grain. This one physically looks the same, but instead of a hollow point, it's a hollow skirt. Gather that air up, probably move a little quicker and have deeper penetration. This is basically that same hollow point, comes in a little bit heavier because it's steel core. Punch a nice little hole in something. One more mold is coming in for this basic setup right now. That mold is just going to be a solid bullet. So you can actually have 4 that look almost identical that do 4 very different things. So I've got that coming in. As soon as that's available, once I have all 4 available, I'll probably send out some samples to a few people, let them just test it out and see what they think. I've been selling them as well, and they seem to be selling okay, but you know, we'll see what happens with that. Okay, the next thing, I'll put this in here and try not to drop it because I have them in order. Tilt the camera down a little bit. This is my current 357 rounds. 82 grain Diablo, 92 grain Diablo, 95 hollow point, 120 grain hollow point, 126 hollow point steel core, 129 grain solid, 150 grain hollow point. And I actually have 2 more coming in. I'll have the S45 Mini and 357 next week. And I'll be testing it out with these 7 and hopefully 2 more rounds. So I'll have 9 different rounds I'm using to test for the 357 and see what works best. Ben has said it needs to be 120 and up. 4 of these are 120 and up. The other 2 coming are above 120 as well. So I'll have at least 6 different choices for 120 grain or heavier. I'll do testing, see how they work out, and let you know. Let's see, next on the list. Defender speed loader. I've actually got a list on the wall, so I'm trying to make sure I don't miss anything. So once again, if it's something that people want, this was first version. There will be a second version. I'm not quite there yet. We'll have that available. Okay, this next one's going to sound crazy. And for this, I'm going to have to show you a picture real quick. One of my favorite pistols ever made, see if I can get this in here, was a Remington XP100. I believe it was available in the 1970s. They made it in 223, 221 Fireball, 7mm, and also in 308. Now, the reason this is pretty cool to me is if that's in 308, it's got some weight to it, it's got some kick to it, that's a lot of power being created, but I feel that the Zeus puts out about that same amount of power. So I found a stock company down in Dallas that's going to work with me. And I'm almost afraid to show you this because it's just so ugly. But the basic idea is a Zeus pistol. So if you can imagine something pretty like that, and not this abomination I'm holding, having a nice thumb hole stock, probably be a slight bit more forward for the balance, and I have a Zeus 16-inch barrel pistol. So maybe by summer I'll have the first stock in. We'll see how that thing looks. Last on my list is the Challengers stacked to the ceiling. I have a crazy number of Challengers in 22 and 25 caliber. And it's a funny thing, I'm a pellet salesperson who really hasn't sold much pellets lately. It was flat dead in December, and it's gotten even worse in January. And I realize it's price driven and people want a really, really good price. And it's a lot easier to make pellets when you're not sizing them and you're using off-the-shelf molds. Pretty much all my molds are custom. Custom molds are $250 to $600 a piece. I spent a lot of money on custom molds, just like the 6 for the 51 caliber I just did. Every one of them custom. I have quite a few of these Challengers. I think I have 14 right now. If a person is thinking about getting a 22 or 25 caliber Challenger, and they buy it through my website, not off my eBay sales, but through my website, I'll include $200 in pellets. So any of the pellets that I have up for sale for 72 cal, 51, 457, whatever you want that I sell, I'll include 200 pellets as well, or $200 in pellets as well. Basically, you buy the Challenger and then send me a note telling me what pellets you want. I'll include the pellets with it. And I've got 4 of these, and I'll do that as long as these 14 remain. Once these are off the website, I'm out. But I would love to sell them. Well, basically, I'd love to sell anything at all. Anyway, so if you're looking for a Challenger and want a really good deal, that's a $450 Challenger, and you'll get $200 in pellets as well. So anyway, that's about it for now. Most of this stuff is either available that you see right now or will be available shortly. Again, once we do the 457 rounds, their availability and barrels will be available through Survival Arms only. I will not be selling them. I won't be selling them off to anybody else except Survival Arms. So I do appreciate your support, and I hope you all have a great day. Take care.